lado. Confia. Chablau, cuzão. Começa aí.
Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, bom momento, boa vida, bom Mundial de Clubes. No dia de hoje, dia 20 de junho de 2025, tivemos o Flamengo 3, Chelsea 1. Não sei como é que vai ser daqui pra frente, mas ontem o Botafogo ganhou do atual campeão da Champions League, que é o PSG, ganhou de 1-0. Rapaz, a farsa europeia aí tá caindo por terra. Bom, mas vamos lá. Como eu disse, a gente vai ficar migrando entre o Halo e um outro jogo, e todos eles vão ser meio curtos, pelo menos eu vou tentar que eles sejam meio curtos. E hoje a gente vai começar esse aí, o Bastion. Eu já joguei ele no passado, nunca zerei, queria zerar. Então, vamos lá, que é hora de jogar um Bastionzinho. Não vou ficar muito tempo jogando, porque eu tenho compromisso depois, mas vamos lá. Vamos ver se vai funcionar, né? Também tem isso. Ó, eu quero ver. Se vai aparecer na tela. Aparentemente tá funcionando. Então vamos lá. Ó, tá vendo? Tem o Continue, mas eu vou no Normal Mode. Esse jogo tem um dos melhores narradores de jogos que eu conheço, então eu vou ficar quieto a maior parte dele.
Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as it point the way. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls, years of work undone in an instant, in the calamity. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. Starts to feel his bruises, though. falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do. Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber. Kid's worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink. A school of squirts tunnels up around him. Must have fled here from the mines. And then he falls to his death. I'm just fooling. It's a wonder the old saloon's still standing. Used to have the nicest view. Kid finds a memento from a girl he knew. Always used to fancy her. He sets foot inside one of Zealandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him before his drinking did. Then Kid finds his trusty shield. But just as he's getting a handle on it, the security takes him for a petty thief. Shield saves his hide. Windbags start turning up for last call. Squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid. Then windbags are playing for keeps. Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop. He gets a good look at things on his way down.
Ah,
He
não
lands on
queria.
top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke. Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back. The kid pockets a memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the land. Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. a few pointers from a dusty old tome. He's a mighty fast learner. Right back at you. He finds the distillery right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man.
Boa tarde.
Boa tarde, Rob. O que eu vou colocar aqui? Aliás, obrigado pelo sub. Se eu conheço Arujá, nunca fui pra Arujá, mas conheço. Por quê? Tô de vida.
The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job.
Opa, tenho Dancing Shot. Acho que vai assim mesmo. Ah, cai.
Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins.
Vou passar. Ah, você vai pra 2 dias para o já? Ah, legal. Vai de folga? Ah!
That one was Maud, the tutor. Once taught the kid good manners. He never used them, though. An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now.
Pera aí, eu... Ah, espero que você curta, Rob. Eu nunca fui. Depois você conta como foi a tua experiência.
Kid takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did.
Filha da puta.
Rob's a scumbag of his last meal. Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true. Kid puts him out of his misery.
Rob, você, por favor, depois me dá um feedback do som do jogo. Porque eu fiz stream de Halo 3 agora, faz uma semana, e o áudio ficou todo como se tivesse um chiado. E eu acho que é do jogo. Ou do OBS, não tenho certeza ainda.
He finds the core to the Wharf District. He steals the city's heart. Might as well. Kid has a feeling he better get a move on. The place is starting to fall. See, that core Kid took was the only thing making this particular rock stay afloat. Kid just keeps running. Somersaulting like crazy. At last, the skyway's in sight. Whisks him where he needs to go. Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races.
Valeu, Rob. Ah, não, fica tranquilo, fica tranquilo. Hoje eu tô de folga, graças a Deus. Vou tentando. Eu não vou falar muito. Eu falei no início da stream, né, mas eu não vou falar muito em cima desse jogo, porque eu acho o narrador desse jogo muito da hora. Então, inclusive, ele nem. Esse narrador. Eu nem. Tipo, meio que assim. Eu lembro de ser outro cara com outra voz, mas tudo bem. Mas eu gostei. Eu já joguei esse jogo antes, só que eu não fui muito longe. Então vamos ver agora como é que vai ser.
Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. We talk for a spell. There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest. Enough to point the way to the cores. All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there, then watch. I try to let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, all right, except no one else showed up. Just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again, growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid ponders what to build. Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply.
Crítico. Uma chance. Tá, desse aqui. Eu acho que eu vou colocar esse aqui, que se a gente morrer tem uma chance a mais. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. The Skyway,
Now the kid can ride the wind to distant lands.
Vamos fazer esse que é o desafio.
The breakers used to come here for target practice. Used to play a little game. See who could bust the most targets and the fewest shots. He's focused. He's armed. And he's off. Perfect shot just happens in a flash. Kid ain't done bad at all.
Peguei o terceiro prêmio, interessante. Tá. 10 tiros ou menos.
He returns with some of the materials we need. Ain't always much to say.
Vamos tentar de novo.
Kid ain't had enough of the breakers' barracks. Takes practice, and a mighty strong bow helps too.
Ah, meu Deus, tem um aqui que eu não vi. Droga. Eu consigo resetar? Restart. Tá.
Solid performance.
Second prize. 5 tiros? Nossa, como é que eu vou fazer isso em 5 tiros? Ó, depois eu vejo, depois eu descubro. Vamos para próximo mapa.
Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? He heads for the squirt steps. Won't be no field trip this time. Kid ain't ever seen an elephant squirt before. Hopes he'll never see one again. They say even the most rambunctious squirts can be tamed. No sign of the core here. At least the kid got something for his trouble. Squirts don't make the best of friends, but they can be useful in a pinch. Scumbag can digest just about anything. Except for this. It's quick for slicing and light enough to throw. Them squirts just don't know when to quit. He heads for the biggest dump in town. Scumbag Alley. Some scumbag still feeding off the city's own trash. And there he is. The oldest scumbag of them all. Gershel. The calamity ain't done much for Gershel's sunny disposition. Kid cuts up Gershel like a pineapple. Ball scumbag didn't feel a thing. The rest of the path is gone for good, and his city crest won't bring it back. No core, no surprise. Likely gas fellas are hiding it from him. Up north is where the gas fella foreman used to live, tending to his flock. Gas fellas all dress alike. Kids wondering the same thing. And there it is, but it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. A blustery old foreman's keeping his fellas in check, almost like he's showboating for the crowd. There's a new marshal in town. He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall. Might as well check the other side streets before leaving this hole. He heads for the east side, where windbags used to keep the local forge. Odd place to find the likes of Percy the Snitch. Somehow that old forge is still standing. Inside the forge, Kid can fine-tune those instruments of his. Kid's lifelong friends looking fit to keep on fighting. With a good length of meat gut, that bow's like new again. The little Zolwood oil and that blade shines like a light. Kid's ready to go, and his ticket out's right where he started. He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hums in his pack, the monument's calling for it. The windbags used to be alright, then the calamity took the floor out from under him. Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. The Bastion's a place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to. Ain't much Kid can't handle with hammer and bow in hand. Picked up traces of other cores while the Kid was out. Couples used to walk the sundown path. Kid ain't here for pleasure, though. But then, somebody gets to the core before the Kid. The floor starts giving way under the lightest step. A single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. Fragments of the old world rain from the sky. Stray valuables are lying everywhere. Kid thinks twice about risking his hide for him, though. Well, the path ain't exactly open to visitors no more. Security's all fired up. See, the path was intended for leisurely strolling and such. Sky bridges link the path together. One of them bridges whips the Kid along. Quick and careful's the only way to go. Finds a spyglass, like the ones they'd used to search the stars. Air travel always was an iffy proposition. But calamity changed everything, even where the wind blows. Well, if we mastered the winds in the old days, we can do it again. But the question is, who else could have taken the core? Well, ain't no survivor stole the thing. Scumbag ate it by mistake. Tough break. Unlike the kid, that core ain't coming back. They used to ship live munitions down the path. Find time to find them. These wires to toss those things plenty far away. Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. They get real cranky. In all this toil, Kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the calamity? So he didn't find the core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. We could always see the stars. We just never could reach them, no matter how high we built. Squirt cider will toughen you right up. Too bad about the musty aftertaste. In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt. Of all the plans to survive the calamity, it had to be stabweeds. If there's a core, he figures it ought to be deeper down. Core's stuck inside one of those fancy cages. Some of the stuff lying around is downright dangerous. No breaking a cage like that, but the kid tries anyway. Gotta find a way to spring it open. He throws a switch. Now what could possibly go wrong? Quite a bit, as it turns out. The cage starts lifting from the core ever so slow. All Kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in. Not every squirt born bad. Some spring to the kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take a little while. Scumbags don't take kindly to interlopers. Even some gas fellas take his corner. Heard he popped that mean old foreman. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 30, hard to tell. Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. Troublesome scene to be sure. It ain't all bad, as the kid finds some spices from the motherland, tax-free. A few moments left, and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done. Ain't no easy way out of this mess. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge. I still remember the look on his face after that one. Folks voyaged across the boundless sea to found Ceylondia. It was good living here for a while. But the new world's just getting started. A lot of things need fixing up in this world, and we can start right here. Kid packs a special surprise in every one of those arrows. Turns out those old bones still have some spark in them. Can't be too careful these days. The dead welcome him with open arms. The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. It was someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all. Just ain't got time for answers. The Thunder brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nor did the bird boy didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr., they didn't make it. But him, he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? The core survived as well.
Ah, não quero ter que matar as pessoas.
Kid does what he has to do. And then, what do you say to a man who's seen too much? kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. We have to go. Please. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other for the first time. Come on, give the little tyke a break. We fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now. For Zolf, Caelondia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. We all lost loved ones in the calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine. Zolf offers to help me plot the skyways for the kid. At least the calamity hasn't touched the stars, he says. He was born in the Tazzle terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be all right. Well, look what we have here. The memorial. Here, a kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more. Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the orchard core is long gone too. Seems Pith ain't much of a watchdog. Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. He couldn't even save his loyal subjects. Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least. Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. Ain't easy punching through his hide. kid breaks him to bits. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods, or tell them off?
Oxe.
Kid don't need favors from the likes of him. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Popping windbags is hard enough. No need to get the gods involved. The gods ain't gonna catch you if you fall. Things might have gone worse if Kid tampered with that shrine. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. Kid ain't found a core, the least he found Zolf's precious shrine. Pith orchard. Place is a dead end in more ways than one. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls. There's only one way to cinder break forth. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. Calamity was mercy. Folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze or starve or face the kid. Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Calamity drove the windbags topside. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. Business underground like in the old days. Windbags can't use martial supplies, but the kid sure can. As for the windbags, Cinder Brick gave them enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. Well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Can't blame them for wanting it, though. So many of those sorry things hold up inside that old fort. Not a scratch on him as he presses on the higher ground. blasting everything in sight with that newfangled musket. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. Kid ain't afraid of getting burned. They trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds. Then they bring out Glutus and Landon and all their scumbag uncles. Kid takes down Glutus. Maybe it was Landon. The uncles go out with a whimper. The windbags finally get the message. Kid used to dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this. The Skyway's a welcome sight after all that. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zulf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zulf was a smoking pipe. The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zulf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the marshals kept a wary eye on him. Poor kid collapses after just one drag. The past. Only good thing ever come out of the past is history. catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life, supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Ceylondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. Out there, kid learned to fend for himself, learn to build, learn to break. kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him. Finally arrived at Ceylondia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else. But then, all they got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name. Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made them real, not me.
Ah, caralho.
I'd like to say I'll never forget him, or what he's doing, what he's done. I surely would. Kid takes another drag, goes out like a light. There's something you should know about the kid, but let me take it from the top. Catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life. Supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie.
Ai, de novo isso aqui. Não, vamos...
The marshals kept the city's peace. They can rest easy now. Kid says hello, but Zolf's lost in thought. Zolf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. The lost and found. Here, kid takes fragments of the old world and makes them whole again. All it takes is some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new. If you're feeling low, count on the buttery flavor of our own Bastion bourbon. Sometimes a single look says it all. Kid's ready to get real personal with hammer and musket in hand. want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel.
Que horas são? Dá pra jogar mais um pouquinho. Depois eu faço os desafios depois.
That's the Langston River. Used to cut all the way to the wild. Think it was bad then. The Langston River flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all up. Maybe all that water just grew wings and flew off. Riverbanks swarming with windbags. They're so bent on finding the core, they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat. She sends some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. A security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with. They're pretty steamed about what happened at Cinderbrick. They try to cut her off. They try to slow her down. Try to knock her out. Well, Weepin' Nellie tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors. She picked a good spot for a break, because the core's right there. Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. Watching his every move. They had their own eyes on the core. But why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. He finds Weepin' Nellie raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough. She's gonna need a little help with all them peckers. Crafty things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these. Security skiffs keep on coming starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something. Windbags getting even better idea. They aim to smash we've been to splinters. They don't know the kid's just trying to help, or maybe they don't care. Well, it all proves too much for poor Nellie. She's just gotta make one last stop. With her last breath, Nellie gets the kid to solid ground. Solid ground in thicker country. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoos them off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the barge back there? 5 times. Now, listen close. You should remember this next part. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. The city was the most beautiful place in the world. We all knew that. But on the other hand, some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it? The other kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? Yeah, that's the one. Well, no point explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides, it's like the song goes.
But now you got nowhere to run. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long.
They'll be here before too long. We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow her again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find. a scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. Most of the Ura never got a taste of Caelondia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here. Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see, but leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view. Girl tried to run away from home one time, but the marshals stopped that, didn't they? So many secrets in there and she can't even read it, her father's own journal. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. Behold, the Pantheon. We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds. That's the edge of the wilds, where Jawson and his boys disappeared. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. Know what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having two. Savage things lurking at every turn. Pincushions ain't the worst of it either. By now, kid's got more needles in him than a stab wound. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kid so soon. They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. All too easy to lose one's way out in the wilds. Wallflowers survive the Calamity. It toughened them up. Same goes for the kid. Good thing pincushions can't see where they're shooting. Kid learns the hard way not to touch those things. made it out this far. Kids seen the last of them. Don't ever turn your back on a pincushion. Kids roused up half the wilds by now. Jawson's boys left all kinds of stuff out here. Then kid gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a little kid. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals. Hit him anywhere but the hindquarters and you only make him mad. Wild green vine apples about the only good thing out here. Kid's faster than a slinger with those guns. He's anxious to get back. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot. Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone. Zolf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. When Zolf got through reading that journal, he just snapped, started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him. Takes a lot of moving pieces to make a dependable sidearm. Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put it back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health. What else is there to say? The city brought the shards to the wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back.
Eu acho que eu vou finalizar por aqui. 2 horas de stream praticamente. Adiantamos bastante coisa do jogo. Não muito, mas um pouquinho. Então, eu vou fazer os desafios em off. E depois eu volto pra história. Então é isso. Então, muito obrigado aí, Rob, que apareceu. Obrigado pra quem vai assistir aí no futuro. Esse joguinho é bem gostoso de jogar. Um pouco difícil, mas nem tanto. Pra mim, que não tô acostumado com esses jogos, é difícil. Mas a gente continua. E lembrando, assim que terminar Bastion, eu volto pro Halo. Então é isso. Muito obrigado e a gente se vê. Falou!